It's long been said that hypocrisy is the tribute that vice pays to virtue. I have to admit I'm enjoying listening to my Democrat colleagues suddenly discover the virtues of the rule of law after 4 years where they brazenly supported the most lawless Department of Justice and the most politically weaponized Department of Justice our nation has ever seen. We just heard the senator from Rhode Island talk about the imperative of protecting judges. And yet not a single Democrat senator cared about the violent protesters that showed up outside Supreme Court justices' homes, including, I might note, female justices like Justice Amy Coney Barrett, threatening their family, and Joe Biden's attorney general didn't do a damn thing and refused to enforce the law to protect those judges. Why? Because he agreed with the violent protesters and he wanted to intimidate and threaten those judges. Professor Bray, under our Constitution, who should decide elections, the voters or unelected judges?
What's up, Patriots? Welcome back to Right View Nation, the place where truth still matters, the Constitution is respected, and we stand unapologetically for America. If you're tired of leftist lies, media manipulation, and the radical Democrat war on democracy, you're in the right place. Hit that like button, subscribe, and let's dive into something that got my blood boiling and my patriotic fire burning. Now listen, family. I just watched Senator Ted Cruz absolutely torch the Democrats during a Senate hearing, and let me tell you, it was like watching a patriot finally call out the lawlessness we've been screaming about for years. Cruz didn't hold back. He exposed the Democrats' hypocrisy plain and simple. All of a sudden, they've discovered the rule of law. Give me a break.
The voters are the ones who should vote in the election according to the laws, and the laws sometimes have to be applied by the judges if there are cases.
And under our Constitution, who is charged with making policy decisions? Elected representatives elected by the people or unelected federal judges?
I think the question of policy, Senator, is a little broader than the particular case. So the laws should be enacted by Congress. That's where the fountain of law.
Policy decisions are the elected branches.
Right.
Law is the province of the court. Policy is the province of the elected branches. These are not complicated. Professor Bray, let me ask you this. Do the federal courts have power to issue remedies for people who are not parties to a case?
That's a question I agree is not complicated. They do not have that power.
Is the phrase nationwide injunction or universal injunction found anywhere in the Constitution?
It is not.
First chart. In the first 150 years of our republic, how many nationwide injunctions were issued?
My view is that there were not any until 1963.
0. Now fast forward. How many nationwide injunctions were issued in the entire 20th century?
It's a small number. I would think it would be a dozen, give or take. It's not large.
27, actually. Excluding Trump's first term, how many nationwide injunctions were issued in the last 20 years?
Far more than that.
32. From 2001 to 2024 against Biden, Obama, and Bush, 32. And how many nationwide injunctions have been issued in the last 2 months alone?
There have been quite a few.
37. Let that sink in. There have been more nationwide injunctions in the past 2 months against President Trump than in the entire 20th century. There have been more nationwide injunctions against President Trump in the last 2 months than both terms of George W. Bush, both terms of Barack Obama, and Joe Biden's term. We saw during the Biden presidency lawfare, indicting President Trump 4 times, using the machinery of justice to attack him, and that was an attack on democracy, because Democrats today hate democracy. Democrats today are angry at the voters for re-electing Donald Trump and electing a Republican Senate and a Republican House, and they engaged in lawfare to stop democracy from operating. Understand, this is the second phase of lawfare, second chart. This is the second phase of lawfare. Now that their efforts to indict President Trump and stop the voters from re-electing him have failed, they're going and seeking out individual radical judges to try to shut down policies, and they are forum shopping like crazy. Give me any loon judge put on the bench by Obama or Biden who disagrees with a policy. We just saw a judge flagrantly ignore U.S. immigration law concerning TPS being revoked. U.S. law explicitly said there's no judicial review for that, but hey, they found a judge who says, you know what? We, the Democrat Party, we are the party of illegal aliens. We are the party of murderers and rapists and gang members, and the Democrat Party exists here to fight to keep murderers and rapists and gang members in your communities. There's a reason the Democrat Party is at 26% approval nationwide, because they put radical policies ahead of rule of law. Nationwide injunctions are an abuse of power. It is the judiciary acting as policy deciders, and it is incumbent on this committee and this body to rein in the abuse of power from these unelected radical judges who are trying to overturn the election because they disagree with what the voters decided.
Thank you, Senator Cruz. Senator Klobuchar.
Okay, that was a lot. Let me start with a few things. Number one, we love the democracy, and I believe what we should be having is a civil debate about how we can best, if Donald Trump wants to make changes to the government, we should be doing it in a legal way, not how he's doing it. And the only reason there's all these injunctions, Senator Cruz, is because he's violating the Constitution. Why would Trump-appointed judges...
Why don't you file them in red districts?
Senator Cruz.
Why... What did you just say?
Why don't you file them in red districts?
Point
Why
of
are the
order.
Democrat attorneys
Senator Cruz.
general seeking out
Senator Cruz.
left-wing
my
blue
esteemed
single
colleague.
districts?
Patient with
One
Senator
second.
Cruz's activities
Yeah.
in this building.
Senator
I think
Whitehouse.
He's entitled to.
I'm just going to ask for a point of order. Madam Klobuchar, Senator Klobuchar.
Senator Moody, we have debates on this committee. They occur
I just-
regularly.
Let's let her have her time, and then we'll get back to that. If you
it
want to
is-
wait, we'll get back to you, Senator Cruz.
She's welcome to
Senator
answer the
Klobuchar,
question or
go
not.
ahead.
It's her choice.
Go
I'm
ahead.
so
and I would
excited
encourage
to
you
be
to answer.
following Senator Cruz once again.
Excuse me?
But I will say
Excuse
this.
me? I didn't hear you. What did you say?
To be following him. He and I have a
I was
long-standing-
permitting you your time to continue. To be following him in order.
He and I
Excuse
have
me.
a
Go ahead, Senator
long-standing
Klobuchar.
debate during hearing.
Go ahead, Senator
That's what I'm
Klobuchar.
referring to.
Go ahead.
And I will take more than my time, since he's taken more than his time to yell at me.
Go
So
ahead.
what I
I'll
will
mark the
say
time.
is that
I'm not yelling. I asked a question.
Where were they when violent mobs were showing up outside the homes of Supreme Court justices? Where was the outrage when radical activists were threatening the families of justices like Amy Coney Barrett? Nowhere. Crickets. Not a word from the left. Why? Because the protests were politically convenient. Because these mobs were targeting conservative judges who don't bow to the woke mob. And Joe Biden's DOJ? Merrick Garland? Sat on their hands. Refused to enforce the law. That's not just weak, that's dangerous. Then Cruz dropped a question that should be on every American's mind. Who makes policy in this country? Is it unelected judges who have no accountability to the people? Or is it elected officials, chosen by the voters? Folks, this isn't hard. Under the Constitution, it's you and me who get to decide. Through our vote. Through our voice. Through representatives we send to Washington. But the radical left doesn't care about that. They want power, and they'll use activist judges as political weapons to get it. Cruz tore into the abuse of nationwide injunctions, and man, he nailed it. Get this, for the first 150 years of our republic, we didn't see a single nationwide injunction. 0. And in the entire 20th century? Just 27. But now? There have been 37 injunctions issued in just 2 months, and they're targeting Trump-era policies. That's more than during both terms of Bush, Obama, and Biden combined. Think about that. This is lawfare. This is legal warfare by the left to override elections, erase the will of the voters, and keep President Trump from returning to power. They can't beat him at the ballot box. So now they're trying to kneecap him in the courtroom. It's disgusting, it's un-American, and we cannot let it stand. Let's call this what it is. Democrats today hate democracy. They're not mad because Trump broke the law, they're mad because he won, and they know he can win again. They're terrified of the people choosing someone who puts America first. They hate that we chose Trump. They hate that we gave the GOP control of the Senate and the House. So they've launched Phase 2 of Lawfare. Using radical judges to block everything they politically disagree with. They are forum shopping for any leftist Obama or Biden judge who will rubber stamp their agenda and override your vote. And let's not sugarcoat this, the left today is openly fighting for criminals, illegal immigrants, and gang members, all while attacking police, law-abiding citizens, and the Constitution itself. They've become the party of chaos, crime, and control. Senator Cruz nailed it, again. These judges aren't just issuing rulings, they're acting like legislators. They're deciding national policy without ever having to win an election or answer to the people. That's not how our republic works. We need a judiciary that interprets the law, not one that rewrites it from the bench. And we need a Congress, especially Republicans, with the spine to rein in these rogue judges and stand up for the rule of law. This is a battle between the American people and the elites who think they know better than you. They don't. And we've had enough. Now of course, Senator Amy Klobuchar tried to play cleanup, throwing in her weak little rebuttal. We love democracy, she said, right after defending the very tools used to sabotage it. Klobuchar tried to blame the injunctions on Trump's supposed violations of the Constitution. But here's the kicker, many of these injunctions came from Trump-appointed judges. If that's not evidence of legal overreach, I don't know what is. She claims they want civil debate, yet sat silently when mobs were outside justices' homes and when the DOJ was blatantly targeting political opponents. The left doesn't want debate. They want submission. So, Patriots, what do we do with all of this? We get louder, we get organized, and we get ready for good leadership. Because they're not just coming for Trump, they're coming for all of us who dare to think differently. They want to silence us, control us, and erase the America we love. But we won't let them. This is our country, built on freedom, faith, and the Constitution, and we're going to fight like hell to keep it that way. If you stand with Ted Cruz, if you stand with President Trump, if you stand for America, make sure you like this video, subscribe to Right View Nation, and share this message. We're not backing down. We're just getting started. God bless you. God bless our troops. And God bless the United States of America.